Go bitch, go bestie. Can't fuck with these hoes cause they messy. Go bestie. They're my motherfucking best friend. They're my what? They're my motherfucking best friend. If you got a problem, then we got a problem. If she got a problem, then you got a problem.
Hey guys, it's Gabs and Sino, and we're back with another video.
Yeah, so for this week's video, we're going to be doing a beginner's guide on how to read your birth chart, because we got a lot of questions on astrology and I feel like a lot of people like our astrology videos. We'll try to make this a quick video on how to break down a birth chart and how to read it, and so it's not so confusing.
Yeah, we're gonna keep this as like dumbed down and as beginner as possible.
We're not astrologers, we're not experts at this, so no one come for us. Like, this is just what we take from it, and this is what we believe about the natal chart, about the birth chart, however you want to say it.
Yeah, this is the way that we explain it to people and they seem to get it.
Without further ado, we're gonna get right into the video so this video is not too long, hopefully. So that being said, let's get into the video. So me and Snow use the website Cafe Astrology.
It's perfect for beginners. It does paragraphs and explains everything.
Highly recommend. Like, even as amateurs, we always go back to Cafe Astrology. It's been the most accurate, and it's just a lot easier to read than a lot of the other. If you want to follow along when we're talking about birth charts, because we're going to use examples of birth charts from Cafe Astrology, so if you want to follow along, we're going to put the link below if you guys want to click on it.
Yeah, make your birth chart and follow along with us as we explain it.
So we can try to explain it. So before we get right on into describing the natal chart, the birth chart, and explaining what each placement means, we want to specifically just talk about zodiac and the zodiac signs themselves before we dive into that. There's 12 zodiac signs. We'll list them here quickly.
Starts with Aries, ends with Pisces.
When you were born.
Each zodiac sign stays in each time for 30 days.
Yeah,
approximately.
And the signs are also split up into 4 elements. So elements are fire, water, air, and earth.
If you're into Avatar, The Last Airbender, then you already know about these elements. This is real shit right here. Sorry, this is real stuff right here. All the different elements have different energies that come with it and have different...
Oh, if you understood.
Yeah. Yeah. If you want a whole video like on the different elements and the characteristics and traits that go with them, we can do a whole other video on that.
But basically all we're going to say is that fire signs are Leos, Sagittariuses, and Aries. Earth is Capricorn, Taurus, and Virgo. Water is Pisces, Scorpio, Cancer.
And then there's air, which is Aquarius, Gemini, and Libra.
Just quickly, fire signs are just very go-getters, very fiery, literally impulsive sometimes, take action really fast. Earth signs are very idealistic, logical, rational, grounded to earth. Like, you see these elements, they come into play. Water, very emotional, intuitive,
heart-based.
Then air is just very like witty,
up in the air,
yeah,
flighty.
So yeah, that's just a quick rundown. And then, so all these play a factor into your birth chart, because you don't just roll one place or one zodiac sign. Your chart is a combination of a bunch of different zodiac signs. So if you're like, I'm an Aries, you're not just an Aries. There's different placements that your chart rules. So now we're gonna go into explaining what that means and what your natal chart would look like. So to start off, we call them birth charts, but they're also, a birth chart is also known as a natal chart. And if I'm looking down, it's because I got my notes right here. So to do your birth chart, you need the location of where you're born and the date of birth. You need those two. But then time of birth, you don't need it, but you should have it.
And then once you plug in all that information, it will take the longitude and the latitude exactly of the location that you were born and the way that the planets were positioned in their journey around the sun to tell you information about yourself. And your birth chart comes in 2 forms. It'll be, if you use Cafe Astrology, it'll come in a form that looks like a chart or a wheel. The wheel's a little bit more difficult to read as like a beginner, so we definitely recommend the chart because it has everything put there like that. So your birth chart is a manual to your life that gives the key points of your personality. It tells you about your strengths, your weaknesses, and any opportunities for soul growth. Once you do your birth chart, it's like, wow, I literally just found the reasons why I do things, the reason why I am the way that I am. It's like opening a whole new world.
And it helps a lot because then I'm like, okay, that's why this person does that. That's why this person does that.
Definitely helps you with patience. So yeah,
to understand.
It's really good for like relationships.
So those are kind of like some key points about birth charts, natal charts. And now we're gonna get right into explaining what each one means. So we're gonna pull up what a birth chart, like an example of a birth chart, right here, so you can see what it looks like. And we're gonna go through, we're gonna talk about we'll go into depth about the major placements that we like to focus on. A lot of astrologers or people that are into astrology like to focus on, and then quickly touch on the ones that are more generational.
So basically, when you take your birth chart, it dictates all the different planets and like the positions that they were in. We all know from science that the planets move around the sun and circulate around the sun. So some planets move a lot slower around the sun than other planets.
Some are faster.
So we're going to be talking about planets that move a little faster, so they affect you more personally.
Yeah.
Okay, so for the most part, when people talk about astrology, you probably hear them talking about the iconic triad, which is the sun, moon, and rising, and those are the ones that affect you the most. Don't worry if you're confused by that. We are going to explain that. Everything we're talking about, we're going to explain in the video. And then the other main planets that are also affected, which are
Mercury, Venus, and Mars. So we're going to focus on 5 major placements. We're going to highlight them right here on the example birth chart. And then the other placements are important as well, but they're more generational, as we touched on already. So we're not going to go into depth on those, but we're going to go more into depth on the 5 major placements that we just discussed. Okay, so we're going to start off with the sun sign, which is a sign that you know yourself as. It's the sign that everyone knows.
So when somebody asks, what's your zodiac sign? This is a sign they refer to. This is the position that the sun was in the day that you were born.
So it's really important. It's a really big placement, obviously. It's a summary of who you are.
It represents your ego. It's all of your outside experiences. So you typically experience life as this sign for the most part. It's not everything that you are, but it's a quick general summary of who you are.
Yeah, pretty much. So now for the moon is like your inner self. So the sun was kind of like who you are on the outside, the summary of who you are, and then the moon is like your inner, like deepest self. Only usually the closest people in your life, so maybe family, close friends, see this side of you. Not everyone sees this side of you.
If all of your life you've dismissed astrology and always felt like I don't register or identify with this sign, it's probably because you feel more so with your moon sign, because this is how you look at yourself. The people that are closest to you, your best friends, your family, etc., they're gonna see you as this sign. They're probably like, such and such is a Gemini, no way.
Yeah.
Turns out that you have a Scorpio moon, and that means that you exude this energy internally. It's how you mentally process things, the way you emotionally and mentally go throughout the world.
Yeah, like you almost embody your moon sign more than your sun sign sometimes. Because I know a lot of the times, like, I exude a lot of Scorpio behaviors.
I find with water sign moons that energy is very aggressive, very distinctive.
Yes, like water's down your chart.
Yeah, I can
like
almost, that's what we say. Like whenever we find somebody who has like a water moon, we're just like, we can instantly tell because the energy is so strong with water moons.
Waters, So next we have Mercury, which rules communication.
Okay. So basically like an old Roman character that was the messenger was named after Mercury. So that really explains to you that this is communication. So the way that you communicate, the way that you communicate with other people, the way that you like to be communicated with is...
and just like a little introduction, like each planet represents something. Like this isn't just an astrology thing, like, well, it is an astrology thing, but like that's like a known fact about planets is that they rule a specific topic, not topic, but you know what I mean? Like they rule
category type thing.
The moon rules emotions, and like Mercury literally rules communication, and we'll go into each one, but like that's just like a side note that each planet literally like rules a category. So it just makes sense. Like Mercury rules communication, therefore you look at your chart, like when you were like, oh, my Mercury is in Taurus, no wonder when I'm trying to talk to someone I'm stubborn, because I display stubborn behaviors when I'm trying to communicate with people. Like that's just like an example, you know what I mean?
It also talks about logic and rationality as well.
So next we're gonna go into Venus, which is obviously love language. It's how you love, not in just relationships, like romantic relationships, and just with people that you hold close to you.
So like Gabrielle said, it's your love language, so it's how you give and receive love. So the best way that you need to be loved and how you give love to other people.
Yeah, so everyone has different love languages, and looking at your Venus and what sign it is a huge determining factor. Because you know, some people are like big in gifts or big in
quality
actions,
time,
like
acts of service.
Acts of service, exactly. Hugely determined on their Venus.
Venus also talks about beauty and money, so things that make you feel good, things that make you look good, what you spend your money on is also determined, and you can find that information from looking at your Venus.
Yeah. Okay, so next going on to Mars. Mars is more focused on your aggression and your sex life.
Yeah. So anything that requires passion, you can find that
And drive.
in Mars.
And
So
drive.
yeah, so drive, passion,
Anything that's like
determination.
yeah.
So anything that lights a fire and fuels you, you can find that from Mars.
Yeah. So I know that when we look at Mars, we heavily focus on like aggression. So like
Things that make you tick, how you act when you're angry.
mad. We also hugely look at your sex life. Tells you kind of like the vibe. I don't know how to explain it.
Yeah. The
how
temperature.
Yeah, that someone is in the bed.
Yeah,
But-
along in like all these work in combination with different
Yes.
things as well.
So you
that
also
in
want to take
combination
in
with Venus.
with Venus and your sun sign.
Yeah. Everything goes together. Works together.
Everything. That's why like it's such a complicated process because everything kind of works together.
Yeah.
So if you have different placements, like they work together to like make who you are. It's kind of easier when we explain it, when we actually explain your personal birth chart, because when we actually start piecing it together, that's when it makes a lot more sense. But we're not about to personal read everyone's birth chart. So the last major placement we're going to be talking about is your rising. So like unlike the other chart or planets that we just talked about, from the sun to Mars, you don't need your time for that, thankfully. But for your rising, you do. This is the only placement that you need your time for. So
as well as like houses and stuff like that.
Houses, which houses is another topic we like, a whole another video. So your rising sign is also known as the ascendant. So some people say rising, some people say ascendant. Just so you guys know, when you're looking for rising, you can't say the word rising. Most of the time on astrology website or whatever, they'll say ascendant.
So you might have a little bit of difficulty finding this on Cafe Astrology. So like
It's
we said,
not put on the chart.
yeah. So like we said, you need your birth time. So it also, if you go onto the chart that talks about your houses, at the very bottom there,
We'll
it'll
pull it up
say-
right here.
Yeah, we'll pull it up right there.
Yeah. But that is where you'll find your rising sign, because it's not on the first chart that we're talking about. It's actually underneath. Because for a long time we were like thinking it was a different point on the chart.
Yeah.
And we were confused, but now we are good to go. But yeah, we're gonna show you guys that so you don't make the same mistake that we made. Basically, your rising is how you come off to people. It's like more prevalent in your childhood more than your adult life, but it just depends on the person.
A lot of people grow out of it. It's your social personality. It's the person you are in social situations.
Yes.
Or when you're feeling insecure, out of place, it's a person you fall back into becoming.
My best way to put it is first impression. So
Yeah.
the first impression you give off to people that you just met. So say you just met someone, they're like, whoa, she gives me like big Leo energy. She might not necessarily be a Leo sun or have a lot of Leo placements, but she might be a Leo rising. Hence why she comes off like a Leo to you.
Also, it's typically the sign that your parents kind of instilled you to be.
Yeah.
People typically are raised to be this sign.
As weird as that sounds.
Yeah, as weird as that sounds. The more you look into astrology and you find out your rising, is just like, wow, this makes so much more sense.
Because if you even going on to Cafe Astrology, when you read, because Cafe Astrology makes a little description for each placement, and then when you read your rising placement, I know when I read mine for the first time, explained my role as a child growing up, and I was like, this is literally me. Like this is how I was raised. This is how I was like brought up to be, and it was my rising sign. So I was like, wow, that makes so much sense. Because at first I was like, Capricorn rising, how the frick do I come off like a Capricorn? Like, that doesn't make sense. But I read into it and I was like, whoa, that's crazy. So if you want to like look into that, Cafe Astrology has really good descriptions on each placement. So
rising also talks about physical appearances as well.
Yes.
So physically, how you dress, you tend to also look like this.
Makeup.
Yeah, even features. Like I'm a Virgo rising, and Virgo risings are known for having like very small
noses.
childlike dainty
Noses,
features. So like I have a small nose, I have like pouty lips, I've got biggish eyes, so
Yeah.
stuff like that.
Now we're gonna go into the placements that aren't as heavy. I feel that's not as heavy, but they're still important.
Yeah,
Don't get me wrong.
These placements are placements that are also equally as important to your chart, but these ones are ones that, like we said, these planets move a little bit slower around the sun.
Yeah.
So you typically will share these. The further down the chart you go, the more likely you are to share these positions with other people.
Yeah. So from like Jupiter to Pluto, a lot of them might be similar to the people that you share the same year with,
The same month with.
Yeah.
The same
exactly.
couple months with.
So as a beginner, I would say my tip is to focus on the major placements we just talked about. Then maybe get into these placements once you have already looked into it a lot. But as of right now, as a beginner, I would focus from like on those 5 placements that we just discussed. But we're gonna still kind of touch on each of these really quickly. Okay, so first we have Jupiter. So Jupiter kind of rules like fortune, abundance, spirituality.
I know a lot of people for Jupiter, like for example, my Jupiter is in Pisces, so it talks about what it is that you can do to feel the most fulfilled in life and what you can do and make the most money from. So mine is in Pisces, so a lot of Jupiter and Pisces are like humanitarians or do things that work with people and they create money from doing that.
Yeah.
So what it is that feeds your soul that you could do to gain wealth and abundance from.
Yeah. Saturn rules hard work, like your personal achievements, and isn't Saturn ruled by
Capricorn?
Capricorn, which tells you a lot if you know anything about astrology, because Capricorns are like the top, like hardworking zodiac sign. Like they're all about self-drive and all initiative and all that stuff. So it makes a lot of sense because that Saturn is ruled by Capricorn. You know, basically you're driving your initiative.
I don't even know how to say this planet. Some people say Uranus, some people say Uranus, whatever. Y'all know what the fucking planet, y'all know what the freaking planet is.
We don't swear all of a sudden.
No, it's not that we don't swear, it's just that this will reach a wider audience. Maybe we should be a little bit more censored because we haven't sworn throughout this video.
That's so true.
Exactly.
Our spiritual roots.
Our Earth risings are really showing up right now. Y'all know what this planet is. This planet talks about revolutionary moments. It talks about things that happen in technology and history. Just key revolutionary moments you can find from this planet.
Pretty much. Next we have Neptune, which
the mystical planet.
Yeah, more like the magical, the unknown.
Yeah. If you know Neptune, it's a very blue, beautiful planet.
It's literally ruled by
hypnotizing.
Pisces.
Yeah.
Pisces is very like a water sign. And it's all like about dreams and following your dreams and all this kind of stuff. So yeah, Neptune just kind of touches on
the magical, the unknown, things that intrigue you, stuff like that.
Last planet we have is Pluto. People don't call it a planet anymore. It technically isn't a planet anymore, but whatever.
In terms of astrology, it's a planet.
Yes.
According to NASA, it's not.
So Pluto is all about power, transformation.
It talks about like the dark sides. It also is another planet that's also big on looking into, if you're looking into like sex life as well. It talks about the taboos. It talks about everything that's unsaid is Pluto.
Which makes sense.
Pluto, it's destruction.
Okay, so we just touched on all the planets now. So hopefully that made sense. But now we're gonna move on to these are like geometric or mathematical points.
Yeah, these are things that are still new to us, but they're just like geometrical or mathematical points in the cosmos and in your chart that reveal more information.
Which the reason that we're touching on these is because when you look up your birth chart, specifically on Cafe Astrology, it will say on the chart like your North Node, your South Node, and your Lilith. So we're gonna explain it because we don't want you guys to be like, what is that? Like, so they're technically not planets. They're not planets, but we're gonna explain quickly what they mean. If you know your background on Lilith, it's about darkness, it's about karma, hidden sexual desires, and that is because Lilith is...
if you're into mythology / biblical conspiracies and things like that, Lilith was a character that was betrayed in the Bible. From her point of view, she was betrayed. It's very... I'm still learning.
I'm still learning about it. Like, I know a lot of probably people that are into like mythology and that stuff, they might know a lot about Lilith. A lot of people know of Lilith. Okay, all we're saying is it just makes sense that Lilith...
She's a very dark character.
Yes.
So basically, Lilith controls darkness, karma. So anything that makes you tick and causes you to seek revenge, you can find based off your Lilith.
So we're going to go into the nodes. North Node is the lessons that you are meant to learn in this lifetime. So people believe in different lifetimes, that you live different past lives, whatever. So this is focusing on this life that we have right now. And it just tells you like points on like lessons that you're meant to learn.
And South Node would be the sign that's in direct opposition, so it talks about lessons, challenges that you had to overcome in a past life,
and
or
gifts
that you brought on into a new life.
Alright guys, that's it for this week's video. I hope you guys enjoyed and I hope you understood this. We tried to make it as simple as possible and easy for you to understand, especially with Cafe Astrology if you're doing it with us.
If you guys like this video, be sure to give it a thumbs up, as well as don't forget to subscribe. And Gabriella, once I subscribe, tell them what they're gonna do.
Obviously, you're gonna hit the bell so you're notified every time we post a new video, because you don't want to miss a new video with us. Like, what are you doing?
Exactly.
You want to come up with more astrology videos? I don't know. That's just been really clicking with us. And
so comment down below if you want to see more of that and like what videos you want to see, whether it's an element video or it's like us breaking down each side.
Yeah, or if it's like fun videos, well, like roasting, because our next video, our next astrology video is going to be roasting some of you guys' birth charts. We already are in the works of making that, so we're really excited about that. So if you want us to do like fun astrology videos, or if there's specific ones that you want to like for us to do to learn more about it, like kind of like 101 beginner's guide, let us know and we will do that for sure, because we love astrology and that's one of our biggest passions. So all social medias are in the description box below. You guys know where those are at. And with that being said, we'll see you guys in next week's video.
Bye guys.